What is happening out there in YouTube land? Yours truly, Rockin' Dave, the real deal, North Fort Myers, Southwest Florida. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to see who we have here in the chat. What we got here? Dante, Old Man Dan, thank you so much for tuning in, my friend. We have Mr. Ron Limber. Ron, I'm going to ask you just a couple of questions, but just in a moment, I want to make sure I say hi to everybody. We have Janice Lala. Oh, you're driving. Yeah, Janice. Eyes on the hands, or let's see, eyes on the wheels and hands on the road, right? Johnny Bean, what is happening? Thank you for tuning in, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. Dwight Bailey, welcome aboard, my friend. Thank you so much. What happened to Mr. Ron Limber? Did he leave? Yeah, I wanted to ask Ron if he's thinking about putting up any videos of that Telecaster he has. He's got a very, I think it's a West Tone. He's got a very rare, and I remember that guitar when it came out, my friends. And I actually remember that exact same model. I think I seen it at Guitar Center back in Chicago on Milwaukee Avenue when Guitar Center first opened up in the Chicagoland area. And I remember seeing one of those. And of course, I remember the when Fender came out with their Lead series. Now they got a reissue of their Lead series, Lead 1 and 2. But I remember when those were coming out, but I do remember that West Tone. Okay, this particular song happens to be called In My Dreams, not the Dokken song. Or I think it's really called Dreams. It's actually, well, first I want to welcome everybody to Oh, it's on my list. Thanks, Ron. I really appreciate it because I'll tell you what, you are the only person that's ever put up anything on YouTube about that guitar. And oh yeah, oh the Joe Wentz Project. I give a shout out to our buddy Mr. Joe Wentz from the Joe Wentz Project. And I want to give a shout out to Old Man Dan. He's been putting up some killer videos, man. And with that shoulder being messed up, man, wow. Dan, it's you see, you don't have to be a shredder to sound good. Just sound good, man. That's really all you got to do. Let's see. I think we have Jeff Underwood. Yes, Jeff Underwood. What is happening? Thank you for tuning in, man. Yeah, I want to welcome everyone to what I call every other Sunday. I do this Jazz Fusion Live Sunday. I know it's a different style of music than what you probably used to see me. Well, you probably do see me play this style, anyways, right? This is a style of music that I started really getting involved in, well, because of the area I grew up in the Chicagoland area. We also had jazz clubs, and the whole fusion movement was just booming, man. It was taking off. And on the west side of Chicago, I get together with my best guitar buddies, Andy and Angel, and Louie and Robert and Yvonne. We all get together, but most of the times it'd be Andy and Angel and myself. We just get together and jam. And this particular song, Dreams or In My Dreams, my friend Angel wrote, and he actually had lyrics to it, and he had a great voice. He also had a Les Paul that later on he traded for the Ibanez Destroyer. Was known as the Phil Collins model. It was the Black Destroyer that had the triple cream color pickups, and at that time Ibanez had a different type of a locking trem. It wasn't called the Edge system, not yet, but when it was totally different, gold hardware and all that. But he had before he had that, he had a Gibson Les Paul Heritage, not the Heritage brand, but Gibson Les Paul Heritage, and his seemed to be a little bit, there's right there with the carved top. His seemed to be a little bit thicker, but it did not have the flame finish or anything like that. Great guitar. But what's interesting, he would write stuff like this. We get together and just have these jam sessions and record them on a cassette tape, on a boom, off of a boom box. So, the recordings were they were what they were for the time. But here's something interesting with this chord progression. It basically starts with a G major 7. Then it goes to an E major 9 with like I call it a rotating bass. From the E note to B, then to the D major 9. And you emphasize the open E string. Back to the E. And then from there, you go back and forth to that a couple times. Then you come down here to D major 7. You'll slide in to A major 7. D major 7 down here. A major 7 with the bass on the, the low E. Then back to A major 7 without the bass. A flat minor 7. G major 7. Then you do G major 7 heavy on the bass side. A major 7, back to G major 7. And I'm actually adding B minor without the bass. But they were doing the G major 7. So there's variations of this. And almost like it's switching keys, But, as teenagers, we would put all this stuff together. So this kind of music would help get me out of, this traditional, rock and metal that was coming out, but I still love it anyways. And, expose us to different kinds of playing, different ways of playing with dynamics, A lot of times we'll play with a clean sound or an overdrive sound and then really just mess with our effects. Now, we did not have looping pedals back then. This is like, I think Angel wrote this back in 1983. We'd plug into the Fender twin reverbs we had or the PV Special 130s. After I just got rid of my Marshall Plexi for the Special 130. Great Vanzini, what is happening? Good to see you, my friend. I'm checking out some of your stuff, man, and quite a player you really are, man. And That's an interesting Ibanez jazz box you have with no cutaway. And I think you're right. It was only a very, very limited run on those. I know I've never owned a jazz box or a semi-hollow or even a Telecaster. And I kind of think about it, but we're more in tune of like now saving our money than spending our money. But this is what we used to do to try to get the jazz box sound. Okay. So as teenagers, it was a different time back then. So what we would do to get that semi-hollow or the hollow body sound, we mostly on the neck pickup and turn down our neck treble to get that muffled sound. So sometimes it works better on the treble side. Yeah, I have way too many. Yes, the LP can't get in. Yeah, it's just you just gotta experiment with it. And what I started doing, now I just realized this, I started just wrapping my high E string. I don't know if you could see this. Yeah, could you see that? Now you're probably wondering what's that plastic. I put the plastic over it so I don't scratch the hell out of my tailpiece. And let's see if this helps from popping strings. So far, so good, I never did the wraparound. This is, first time, whatever. But I do like about this guitar, the out of phase. Thrash metal and fun riffs. What is happening? Thank you for tuning in, man. Yeah, I was checking out Old Man Dan's, a couple of his videos this morning, and the one that I saw earlier was just him playing off of, I think it's a D minor chord. And he's actually, he just looped the D minor and just melody and soloed around it and sounded great. And then the next one I saw, I think he's playing D minor 7 to C major 7. Now I'm adding the little accent on the C. I might not know certain chords as you add this or add that, but I can tell you the exact note I'm adding, the C. So I thought that was really cool, and just make melodies around everything, you know what I mean? Here's the easiest way to come up with solos. People have asked me, Dave, do you think in Mixolydian, Dorian, Lydian, Lydia, Susan, Deb? I think in Deb. That's what I think, Deb, I never think like that. And it's interesting. I've watched a video a while back with George Benson being interviewed. And he said something to the fact that he was good at, he was giving this guy lessons, or a guy wanted to take lessons. And he said, man, the guy knew more than I knew. Dana Everhart, what is happening? I appreciate you tuning in, man. Okay, let's see. I'm going to start reading, but real quick here. Hope you're good. I told you that I tried to get in. Okay, what was that? What was the second? Let's see. I tried to get in for a short while. What's the second chord? Okay, you mean the chord here on that opening number I did. Okay, let me explain. Here is the first chord in the opening number is G major 7. The second chord, I'm pretty sure they call this a E major 9, but I'll tell you exactly what my notes are, low pitch to high. Open E, octave E. Right there is G sharp. Right there is D sharp. Right there is F sharp. And open high E. So if you could see this, I'm on the 7th fret. Let's see if you guys could see that. See, that's on the D string, that's on the A string. Pinky is on the G string. Third finger is on the B string. So if I go low pitch to high, open E, octave E, G sharp or A flat. Here is D sharp, or E flat, and that is F sharp or G flat, and then you have open E. And it's the same shape down to the 5th fret. So, okay, so if that's what you're asking about that song or that second chord and the opening number, that's what it is. If you're asking for the second chord in what I was talking about with Old Man Dan, Dante was playing, he was playing a D major 7 to a C major 7. And you know, it's not traditional jazz. It's like I call it jazz fusion or jazzy way of playing or jazzy blues or stuff like that. But what I was going to say about this video I saw, this was a while back with George Benson explaining that he doesn't think in terms of theory like that. And I saw an interview one time with Joe Pass. He said he doesn't really think in formulas like that. So a lot of creative people, you know, we don't, at least myself, I don't think in terms like that. I look at it, I know what it is, especially as far as the notes are, but I start to immediately see what kind of a picture can I paint with the sound, you know, and then what kind of emotion, what kind of expression. So I don't really think in, do I have a favorite mode or do I have a favorite scale? And I mean, I guess I do. I just don't really think about it, you know. Now this has the out of phase, so I got everything activated. I'm in the middle position, so I'm calling for a neck and bridge pickup. Both are coil tapped, and I got the out of phase. So that's why I have that little. But yeah, if anyone has not checked out Old Man Dan or subscribed to his channel, please go ahead and do so, because he reminds me a little bit like Dave Simpson. You know, from Great Britain, Dave Simpson will just start his videos and he just plays. And really, there's something special about that. When you're in that mindset and when you're in that zone, you don't really think so much about theory, or at least I know I don't, but you try to create something special there. You really try to create an atmosphere where it's like, okay, you're going on a little bit of a journey. And that's what I like about it. That's why, to me, improvising, and even if you make mistakes, you know, sometimes those are the best moments. So it doesn't really matter. That's why when I watch people play, I don't, you know, pick and he made this mistake there and he's not holding a pick like this and he's not doing, I don't care, man. If it sounds good to me, it sounds good to me. That's all that matters, you know. So, okay, so, but yeah, this is a kind of an interesting chord progression. I never really analyzed it until just recently, just going over it. It's a lot of repeated of, you know, but it's the way you're playing it, because you could play A major 7 here without the low bass, and then you're picking up the high G sharp. When you're playing here, you're picking up the G sharp on the D string, and you're picking up the bass A note. So you're eliminating the high side. So when people use this terminology, they're comping, and you know, in jazz, comping is short for accompaniment. And a lot of times, if you got a keyboardist or a piano or very heavy on the bass side, the guitarist will tend to go on the high side and eliminate the bass note, because otherwise it just sounds so muddy. It's especially if you're on the neck pickup and this is what you got going on. You know, it could get very, very muddy down here. Okay, so I'm gonna play another little piece here. I haven't titled this. I just found out that, well, I forgot I had this in my looping pedal, so it's a little bit more mellow, but hopefully we'll get through this, right? Again, it's Sunday. It's nice to chill out Sunday, right? So here we go, my friends. Pull that a little bit there. 1, 2, 3, go. All right, thank you so much, guys. I'm gonna play a little something off of my Uno CD. Oh, it's not too loud here. We'll make sure that we're. Yeah. All right, guys. Sometimes it's a little hard to sit like this side, because usually if I'm sitting down, I'm in the classical guitar position. Maybe I should do that. But then, see, I don't want to bust out the output jack. But yeah, that was recorded. God, that was recorded back in what, 2006 or maybe 2008. I can't remember. But we were in San Juan, Puerto Rico. We did the photo shoots there, and I always somewhere in my case here or in my little storage closet here, I have a little Korg digital recorder. Maybe I could get it out. I don't think I can. I'll have to do just a separate video on that. And it was like the Pandora ones that recorded on the Smart Media card, not SD card, but Smart Media card. And it's a 4-track recorder. It's got all kind of effects and that. So I started doing like the dummy tracks there, so that when we got back home on one of the other recorders, I just went directly in and just, the drums was from the Boss Roland DR880. And on that one, I could go directly in because there's a guitar effect unit inside that, which I still have to do a short video on. But I mean, this particular song, it's called Persuasive Invite. And it's just really based off of a simple a simple A minor chord with an open B and G, open B and E string, down to the G, down to the F, down to E. Real simple, but you see, a lot of it is not so much of using complicated chords. It's how you structure the rhythm. And when I do bass patterns, all my bass patterns, real simple, nothing complex, but unless I'm doing something that's rock or metal that just has to ride on the root note. But a lot of what I do bass-wise, I don't know if you guys could hear that, is very simple, just playing the root, the fifth, and the octave, meaning here it's A, the fifth degree would be E, and the octave is A. So, or in this case, if the chord progression's moving, at a kind of rapid pace, maybe I'll just write on the root and the fifth. Now that was actually the bass I recorded on Deb. She has a BC Rich Warlock bass, like a Blue Burst. And on that particular CD, I was doing the slapping and popping on some of the songs. But you see, I don't do that technique too much for a real simple reason, which is the same reason why you don't see me finger pick too much on a steel string, because it really messes up and tears up the fingernails. And I still play classical guitar, and I still, get, contracted for that. So, I do things at that moment in time, but I focus on my other things that is definitely, making me money. And if Johnny Bean is still in the chat, I'm just wondering, I think what you also were doing what's called sound libraries, and that's what we were doing. We record stuff and send them out. Yeah, I just tried to combine. I'm gonna see if I can read. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry about this, guys. Sorry about this. Okay. See, I'm behind in the chat. I think. Let's see. Yeah, I think thrash metal fun riffs mentioned when I said about E major 9. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. I mean, I could look in a chord book. Back in the day, if anyone does follow any type of jazz playing or anything like that, there used to be a guy who was very famous, wrote all these books, called Ted Green. And I had a book called Chord Chemistry. I had another chord book, and I had two solos and improvisations. On those two books, he'd be sitting with his Telecaster. He had like a bass. I don't know if it was a corduroy suit or a polyester suit, but it was back in the late 70s, early 80s. And but I remember he'd have all these chords, and You know, I would write the stuff down that interests me, or if I play something I thought I liked it, then I would definitely work with it. You know what I mean? But you know, as far as knowing a lot of those names, that this is one I remember taken from that book. It's a part of an F chord. Where I'll tell you exactly what the notes there are here. Low to pitch to high. It's F. It's A, F, A, C, G with an open E. So, and then I would release my pinky and I would go from that G note to play an open B, combining the open B and E string. You know, so this is why I would purposely memorize the notes on the fretboard, because sometimes the fancy names I would forget, but once you know your notes, you could, you know where you're at, low pitch to high. So let's say if I wanted to rearrange it somewhere else, if I wanted to take the time to do that, I definitely can. So, but that's basically what that is. And so let's see what Old Man Dan said. I gotta see if I catch up on these chats. I apologize about that, guys. So, what were you just playing? Oh, Dan Everhart, I'm so sorry. I might have missed it. See, oh, you're at Home Depot. Okay, Janice Lala said she's at a Home Depot. Do you think Jeff Beck created fusion jazz? I do. Well, you know what, Jeff? He had a really big part in it. A really, really big part in it. But jazz fusion also was part of a brainstorm of Miles Davis. And I remember I think he had an album called Bitches Brew. And he had guitar players like Bill Connors come in. And Bill Connors used to be in Return to Forever before Al Di Meola got into Return to Forever. And I think Bill Connors might have replaced Larry Coryell. And then, that whole scene, everything was like coming out all at the same time. But I know Jeff Beck, the Jeff Beck group, because I had a couple of the albums. I had the first instrumental guitar album I had was Jeff Beck's Wired. And then after that, I had the Jeff Beck Blow by Blow, and then I bought a couple of the other albums, the Jeff Beck group, and that's when he had vocals. That's when he had that song Going Down, very, pretty cool, blues rock song. So the riff is constantly B, A, F sharp, E, D. Then when you go to the C 1, 4, 5, you go to the fourth, which would be your E. The riff is still B, A, F sharp, E, D. Then when you go to turnaround to F sharp, the riff is still B, A, F sharp, E, D. So, but yeah, they were all part of this movement. All right, Great Vanzini, you have a good day, buddy. I'm sorry I'm a little bit back on the chat here. Let me see if I start reading stuff. And then after Great Vanzini says, have a good day, you got Janice Lala at Home Depot. Yeah, Janice, we were just there, a couple of days ago? Actually, I think I was there yesterday. That's why I got also the toilet seat post, I didn't want to buy the whole toilet seat. There's nothing wrong with the toilet seat, just little plastic things. And then, of course, I did the unboxing. Company reaches out to me, I really think, let's see. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, I have way too many. Yes, okay, yeah, with the guitars. Sorry about that. See, everything. I touch the screen and then chats move everywhere, you know? It ain't easy being me, guys. Trust me on that one. Okay, yeah, see, it went way back. Well, what's up? So I'm glad that everyone is able to jump in here. I'm going to try to. Sorry if you see my finger going like this, guys. I don't like doing that. What we were just playing. Okay. Spooky intro. It's kind of like that. You know what? Yeah, yeah, Dana Everhart. It really is kind of that way. Kind of like a spooky intro. Let's see if I get the little. Let's see. Yeah, it has that D minor 7. See, I grew up on a lot of this stuff, back on AM radio in the 70s, because that's what we would have, and when we were younger, we had AM radio, then FM was, all the underground stuff, but we didn't have a FM radio. We were just AM radio and then my dad's stereo. But see, this is what I was here. And growing up in Chicago, we used to have a guy named Clark Weber, which I had a chance to meet at one of the functions we played at back in Chicago, but he was feeling ill. And the lady that hired me to play, she's got a company called JJR Marketing. And her and her husband would hire me out quite often. I mean, it was a good gig. And she's a great entrepreneur. And so Clark Weber, who was a radio personality at the time, was going to be one of the guest speakers. And it would have been interesting. It would have been an honor meeting him. But he used to be on a radio station called WRLS in the 70s. And, the music of the 60s and 70s, the pop music, it was a lot more melodic and very creative. And it kind of ushered in more progressive music, or everything. Everybody at that time was like borrowing musical styles from each other, and it was a very, very, I thought, a very healthy environment for a creative musician. And I was just very fortunate and very blessed at the time, being young, just being able to soak up music, and so when I started playing guitar, we would learn our basic chords, well, our D and our C and our G and our A and A minor and all that. But I guess it was a combination of the area I grew up in. You become a product of your environment. I guess that's what really I'm trying to get at. Let's see. Someone put that into a chord analyzer and it'll let you know the name. You know what? Yeah, that's true. There is like chord analyzers. But see, here's the thing. You can take this, right? And it's because of relative minor chords, relative keys. So this being part of G major 7, I think it's also known as an E minor 9. But this particular chord shape, this particular one right here, the reason why I would never call it E minor 9, especially to when I would show beginning students, and just for the sake of communicating, there's a simple reason why I don't call it E minor 9. And I'm not trying to talk about keys or anything like that. Just this chord alone, there's no E note in there that I see. I have G, B, D, and F sharp. And I understand the F sharp is part of the F sharp that's in the E minor scale. You know what I mean? But if I don't see the note in there, I'm not going to call it that, because for the sake of communication, the last thing you want is confusion. And I'm a very, very simple person. I like to get things done as quickly and as efficiently as I possibly can. And because I've always been in a situation performing, again, I've always said this on this channel, that when you're a performer, people, they're not going to judge you by what you say, they're going to judge you by what you're doing and how you play. That's what they see and hear. So, and if you're clinking and clunking all over the place, and you could whip out all your degrees and diplomas and everything else and talk the talk, but if you can't walk the walk, they're going to judge you by that. And you know what? Some people could be very harsh in the judgment chambers, if you want to call it. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't do that. Oh yeah, great Vanzini, thank you. You know, if you're referring to this F chord, it has a very nice, it has a really nice like atmosphere, especially if you finger pick it with classical guitar. But it doesn't really work too good there. It'll work on the E as well. Moving a half step down. So see, and then with the effects like phase shifters and that, you know, it's not so much of what scales and what modes and if you're tapping it, everything has a purpose. It's how you could be creative and creating an atmosphere. And that's how I've always looked at playing guitar. And that's why on some things I will stay away from the shredding. I'll do a little bit of a speed burst, but then if it doesn't, and to me and to my ears, if I don't feel it, I'm not going to do it just to show that I could do it, because I'm not going to enjoy it when I listen to it, and maybe other people won't as well, you know. But you see, as a performer, this is not an egotistical statement. Also, by the way, this is a very factual statement. As a performer, if you are not happy with what you are doing, it's going to show when you're performing. It really is. And therefore, you're not going to put your whole heart into it. And this kind of is like a little controversy with between original music and cover bands, you know. If a person is very much into playing cover music and they love the pop scene and they love all that, they're going to be the real deal because that's what their heart is into. And you'll be able to tell because when they play, they could care less who's out there clapping, who's not clapping. They really love what they're doing. It's kind of tough, and I don't hold this against anybody, but I could tell when musicians are faking it. Anyone can. I mean, I've had the place down in Fort Myers Beach. The guy was telling me, man, these people they look like they don't like what they're playing, you know. And one of our gigs, guy was telling me, Dave, you got to get down to Key West and do some gigs down there because I went down there and these people they're playing they literally they look like they don't like what they're playing. It's like they're just playing and they're looking to see, you know, who's liking it so that they could play to them. Okay, then if that person's got to use the bathroom or something, they get up and walk away. Okay, now who else could I? Oh, you don't like this song? Okay, I'll play something. Oh, you like this song? Oh no. Oh, how about this? You know, at some point you got to cut the strings and not be the marionette because um, there's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than you going to your gig or you look at the calendar, you look at your week, and here comes Friday and Saturday, and you know you're gonna play both Friday and Saturday, and you look at it like, damn, I don't really want to play these songs. You know that's pretty bad. Uh, so yeah, I'm in on. Yeah, well, okay, guys. Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm missing the chat here. I gotta really catch up here. Ed Dana, what's happening? I play in diminished mode. Yeah, you know what, Ed? I hear you, man. I hear you. You know, I know it's the craze, and it's kind of been like that for a while, especially among the shredders. You know, and I'm not knocking it. You know, it's nice to know the modes. It's nice to know this. It's nice to be able to say, have a conversation and recite every augmented 13th flatted fifth, and, you know, sharpen the 11th and all this other. That's nice. But my problems I've had with that, some of it, if they talk too fast, it goes over my head. And I'm just being honest. You know, I'm not real smart in that aspect of theory. I know theory in a different way and I would teach it in a different way. And when people, and I've had this happen a few times, well, Dave, that's not really theory. Okay, if it's not really theory, here's a Bach piece, and it's in notation. You look at that because that's basically what I'm teaching. Not Bach, but basically when you're looking at notes, you see. If I tune my guitar, you might get someone say, hey, give me a 440A. You know, that's just on the, I call it on the rectum scale, you know, because you could alter that scale a little bit. But okay, so 440A is basically this. Or 5th fret E string, 10th fret B string. or 14th fret G string. There's your 448. I have yet to meet a person, but usually we tune E, there's D. I have yet to meet a person tell me, I gotta tune up my guitar. Could you give me the flatted ninth? No, give me the sharpened the 11th. What the hell are you talking about? No, give me E or give me A, or give me D, whatever. You know what I mean? So my point I'm making, I simplify things so it's like cut and dry, simple. Here it is. I'm not a big shot. I'm not better than anybody, but because when you're in the practice room, rehearsal studio, and you're going out to play, you got to make sure that you're as full control of your instrument as possible because you're going to have variables out there. And whether it's down here in Florida or up in the Midwest, it gets hot in the Midwest. I used to play at the Bristol Renaissance Fair, and I used to also play at every year at the Taste of Wisconsin in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And man, they'd have me like where the entrance was. They had this big like circle, like a town circle thing, and they'd have me right there. And the same time they have me play, here comes the sun. This is how my Breedlove guitar started to like yellow, because the sun would be right on top of me, man. Okay, so yeah, and by the way, Dana, I keep looking at that Les Paul, the Epiphone with the P90s. That's a great price, man. You can't beat it. I might grab something like that if I do, because what I do like about that guitar, it's not expensive, flat matte finish, and it does have basically this type of a sound. So if I want that out of phase or similar to the out of phase, it has it without any bells and whistles. So I don't have to take this out in hot weather, and it's always hot down here, and destroy it or something, man. It's just crazy. Okay, what year is it? Oh, hey man, US. Oh, this is a 2013. This is what they call, it's the Honeyburst. It's the Les Paul Standard Plus or Premium Plus. But yeah, it is the one. Well, here's the back of it. So it's not the cherry finished mahogany. It does have those Locking Grover tuners, which I'm going to tell you guys, I'm not a fan of locking tuners. I really am not a fan of locking tuners. Back in the 80s, we didn't have it. If you know how to do enough wraparound where they don't bunch up and go out of tune, it's just another thing that you got to unscrew. And even though it's quick, it helps tuning, stability, like very, very minimal. Very minimal. It's not like the locking trem systems like the Floyd Roses or the Ibanez Edge systems. It's not like that. But and if you pop a string, you gotta, some of these locking tuners, you gotta get a screwdriver. It's like having a Floyd system. The only difference with the Floyd system, I very seldom break strings, and that's why I'm tending to like that concept of locking the string by the bridge. But if you do pop a string and you got that cavity, well, you're done, man. You're done. But it is a 2013, and it had some issues. I did fall with it though at one of the gigs. My first major gig with this. Yeah, I had a little accident. That's how I chipped my tooth, because the headstock, I grabbed it to protect the guitar, and I think this right here smacked me right in my mouth, and I got up. I was bleeding a little bit, and I had to finish the show, and it happens. Show goes on. Dude, it's now 2:02, but it doesn't count because we don't get to use it. Oh, let's see. I think that Dana's answering a question. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Yeah, 2020. Yeah. Yeah, you know what, guys? Ed, how is your gigs looking for this year coming up? His Les Paul is a 2020. Yeah, I think Ed Dana does have a 2020 Epiphone. If you're talking about Ed Dana's that Epiphone, I'll tell you what, man. The one I played at Guitar Center before the whole country went down to tubes was I was really impressed by that guitar, man. I don't care if it's a bolt-on neck with those cheap tuners or not. If it works and stays in tune, it works and stays in tune. Period. You know. Uh, let's see. And okay. Oh, both of yours are 2001s. Yeah, nice. Oh, you got the Uno CD. Thank you so much, Thrash Metal Riffs. I'll tell you what, man. Some of the recordings, this is why we try to do things ourselves, because you know when you're in some of these studios and everything's hurry, hurry, go, 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 and then they want to master it. They want. One guy told us he's got this. It was an Alesis rack mount, like a sound analyzer, and this guy's trying to sell us one at Guitar Center. This was a while back. He's telling us it could pull things out of the mix that you can't even hear. Okay, so if I can't hear and I've got the headphones and I'm trying to analyze as much as I can because I gotta figure out what the hell I'm doing, and I sell the CD to somebody that just likes the music and they don't know what SM57 is. It SM57 or is it AK47? I don't know what the hell you talking. They don't know, and this guy wants to sell me a rack for $1,600 because it says it could do something that might not even. It's like giving you a vacuum, or trying to sell you a vacuum cleaner that says it could pick up the dirt that you can't even see. Okay, well, there could be some, in a carpet, okay. But let's say you got a hardwood floor, you got bright lights on, and it's your tile floor. You could see, you can't, there's nothing there. And they want to charge you a ridiculous amount, and the floor looks clean to me, and I just got done mopping it. What the hell I need to buy your crap for? You know what I mean? I don't buy into all that crap. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. God, am I behind? Hi to everyone. Yes. That was beautiful. That last. Oh, thank you, man. Actually, I'm gonna play another piece here, and this is with. I think also Great Vanzini. You have the pickup on your guitar on your Strat, and I think it is on your 1994 Mexican-made Strat. Somewhere in here or the other room, I got a Mexican-made, a white Strat, but it's kind of beat up. It's not a relic. I relicked it when I threw it and I dropped my Strat pin. That's why I put washers on. But I'm not going to do that with this guitar or the Epiphone or anything, the lawsuit guitar. I'm not going to do that. But that pickup you have is the GK3 pickup. And I think that came originally with the Roland GR20 guitar synth. It's a smaller version of the GR33. The 33 is about like this size. The GR20 is like this. And then the GR55, which is what we have now, it came with that pickup. And so it does have, what's nice is it's got nice strings in that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play another piece off of my Uno CD. Oh, nice, man. Ian, what's happening? I really appreciate it when you tuning in, man. See, I'm so far behind this chat. Oh my God. Yeah, you know what? With my, what helped me with my picking technique is real simple exercise. And basically, let's see if I could do. Sorry, guys. Let's see if I could do this. So I could come down just a little bit, so you can see my picking hand. Basically, if I call it quads or a 16th notes, and it's basically picking down. I'll do a 4-finger exercise. You can do this anywhere. Let's see if you can hear it a little. Sorry about that. My volume. There's. And I keep my fingers. You just take a metronome and just do this. It's like tremolo picking. Now, the reason why my hand will change the shape A lot of times I would be forcing my hand to stay that way. But if you keep your hand locked like that all the time, and you also play classical guitar, and then you got a performance that you got to play classical guitar, you got to kind of shake your hand. So I come to the realization that I'm not a one-dimensional player. So my hand has to do these different shapes. And I know there's other people out there that'll say, no, you got to keep your wrists like that, and you got to keep your wrists like this and that. If you're not playing different styles of music, that holds true to if a person just does one straight thing. But if there's multiple things you do, you got to be aware of that. And the last thing you want to do is damage your hand. And if this has been your livelihood, I mean, come on, you can't do something silly, right? Now, I like that fast, what do you call syncopated rhythms. So I'm gonna try to catch up on this chat real quick, guys. I apologize. iPhone needs a charge. Okay, it happens. That's not terrible. Okay, sorry guys. Oh, this year oh wow, Dana Everhart, you're gonna be 63. I was born in 1963. I got a little way, man. This year I'll be 57 in November, but trust me, I could wait. I'm a youngin. Uh, wow, great Vanzini. I don't want to ask people what their age is because that's if they want to share that with people, that's up to them. Especially never ask a lady what their age is. They're always 21. You know what I mean? Um, let's see, Dana, you got only 7 years. Yeah, you know what? I'm very, very blessed. Headley Scott, what's happening, man? So you're my age too, then 56. Well, yeah, it won't be long, man. It won't be long. Yep, we'll all get up there. Okay, so Janice Lala's back. Okay, so Janice. Oh, I wish I was 63. Okay, so a lot of my friends here, a lot of you guys and gals out there, you're my age and older, and a few younger. I always have respect for my elders. I'm gonna tell you why. I tell this to people, and when I was teaching, I always tell them this. We might learn to do a certain thing that will even excel or exceed what our peers were doing, okay? But we can never, ever take away the fact that they have a longer life. They've experienced things that we have not experienced. And whether a person is right or wrong, at least I give them that respect to where respect is due, because I was born in 63. When you get people that are born in like 53 and 1950 and 1949, and my mother-in-law, she's still with us and she's still very strong. She'll be 90. I think she just turned 93. I can never compete against anyone that has that life experience for that long of a duration of time. So that's why I always, give the respect to where respect is due, rightfully so, because I guarantee I'm going to learn something from them. I mean, I even learned something from people that are younger than me. So we're all basically in the same boat. But I never, I guess the new thing is some of these kids, they say, okay, boomer, okay, they try to put us down. But that's fine. They can do what they want. But you know what? They'll see. When we were young, it's still like 16, but smarter, old like 56, yeah. See, there's a difference between getting old and never growing up and growing up but never getting old. And there are some people in certain areas, and they're, God bless them, they're good people. When they'll watch me play, or they'll ask me, how come you don't sing? Or they try to get me to sing, and I just tell them I don't sing. That's not me. That's simply just not me. and they'll go on and we'll have conversations. And when we have conversations, their mind is like all over the place. I mean, can't keep up with you. Once you're on this subject, and then you're on another subject that's non-relatable, and then it's like, I mean, we all do. We all have our moments. Don't get me wrong, but you'll mention something, of why you do what you do. Like for instance, with this, and then as I'm explaining the reason why I do this, someone will come and say, "Well, yeah, so and so, they rocked out, man. Turn on, pull, rip the knobs off, and that." Well, that's fine, but there's a purpose why I do this. It's not to rip the knobs off and try to look cool. It's just so I don't pop a string or something. You know what I mean? But we all have our moments. Age, everyone's 62. Wow. Yeah, don't be shy. Dwight, you're 51. Wow, man. See? Welcome to the 50s. Let's see. My guitar rang out a note all by itself. Leaning against the dresser, and woke me up. Still vibrating. The morning. Oh yeah, John. I remember that, man. Me and my friends, we were gonna buy the tickets to the Chicago Tribune and go see Zeppelin. And then John Bonham passed away, man. That was tough. Yeah, Going Down. Yep, that was that song. I just found my Ted Green last night. No, you can't find it. Yeah, Ted Green. He was quite a guy. The book the chord chemistry book. I think if you open up the cover, you know how they have the insert page. There sitting now. At this time, he had a full-grown beard. He's sitting in his yard. He's got all these guitars, and half of those guitars had all these little switches. Different ways you could cut the coils. Okay, so let's see. A friend of mine dreamed Dimebag's death, and I even told Vinny not to play clubs because I told my friends, yeah, that never happened. Yeah, isn't it crazy, man? Some crazy people still here. Okay, let's see. Comparing me to Dave Simpson is a great. Yeah, he is. Yeah, Old Man Dan. He really is a good guitar player, Dave Simpson. And you know what's going on now, guys? I'm trying to catch up on the chat. I really apologize about this. What really, really, it doesn't really bother me, not for them to reach out to me or anything like that, but it's just such a shame that with a lot that goes on YouTube, and I'm not trying to fault YouTube for this, but some of these people and these manufacturers, don't you think it would be nice for them to at least give some sort of recognition for the people who could really play and the people that have been, around for a long time, whether they're famous or whether they're not famous? If they've been around a long time and been buying products, and now we got the platform with YouTube and social media, and they seem to overlook really good hardworking people who earned what they have, and they earn what they could do. The people who are real, the real players. If it just seems that they don't acknowledge a lot of us as much as they take advantage of these young kids. And I just want to make this statement where I understand when a company wants to reach out to all these YouTubers because it's a new generation, and I'm all for helping a young generation keeping our instrument alive. I really am. And that it is a good thing. And I understand that when companies do this, they are using platforms to help advertise their gear and help pass the word out with their gear, because advertisement is extremely expensive. Back in the day, I think this was in 2007, Deb contacted the people at Guitar World and to do a full color page in one of their magazines, and try to get a story on me, and it was something like $10,700 or $10,500. It was something like that. And we were going to go forward with it because we had backing from our construction company. See, we were our own backers. That's how we figured out how to beat this whole system. You know, got so sick and tired of the empty pipe dreams and broken promises and all that. And in their defense, if they don't like what I'm playing, and that's fine. They're more than welcome to have their say in their companies. But it's kind of foolish when you start getting older and older and older, and you're wishing and wishing and wishing. And I would see these ads in the some of these magazines that would advertise a certain production company or a certain like BMI, or not, I shouldn't say BMI, but it was like another company I was going to help sign. We used to have these services called Taxi, and what they were they were platforms that would take your music to give them to the A&R people and the record labels and all this other stuff to help you get up and going and all that. And there was several ads that was really demeaning. I mean, it was really kind of disgusting. You know, I know they're trying to do like a play on the reputation of sex, drugs, and rock and roll, but it really was kind of like, okay, this is ridiculous. It was a picture of a man standing, looked like he was in a business suit. He's over here, and then there was a girl over here. So the man is here. There's a good space between the two. She's on her knees like this, looking up with the little cartoon coming out of her head. Oh, please, I'll do anything if you just sign me. And I'm thinking to myself, you'll do anything, even put yourself down. How about this? How about you put yourself up on your 2 feet? And even if you have to keep your day job and have a little self-respect and work at it and just pay your way into the industry. This way, you're not going to put yourself down, and you're not going to give this reputation that all women got to be on their knees begging to get somewhere. How about using a little bit of common sense? So when I saw that, I was like, okay, I got a lot of disrespect for some of these people, and if this is how they're going to treat everyone in general. You're the little people, we're the big people. Too bad for you. You'll never make it. Like the glum from, was that Gulliver's Travels? You'll never make it. So I started losing a lot of respect for that. But getting back to what I was going to say with some of these companies reaching out to these younger kids, that's cool. But there is a little bit of a problem with this. They seem to give nothing but maybe their top gear or some of their gear, their new gear coming out. And you keep doing that to a group of people, they might take this as, well, why should I try to better myself? Because I'm always going to get a trophy. They're always going to give me products to demo. I'm always going to, so why should I even try harder? Why should I even, try to grow? And it's kind of a really wrong message, because some people, not everybody, but some people will say, well, I don't have to try. I got 1 million subscribers and they're giving me free gear. It's like they're lying to these people. When I was one of the judges at Guitar Center's Battle of the Blues, I would pull all my opinions out, and I would look at it the way it really was. And if someone really was good, no matter what it was they were doing, but if I could close my eyes and I could feel those notes, and I could tell that they're really playing from their heart and they really love blues music, because it's Battle of the Blues, no matter what it is, then I would vote for them. Not because if they wore their hat this way or if they didn't wear a hat or whatever the case, I would just close my eyes and just, the costume is one thing, and it's nice to put on a show. It really is. It's part of the whole thing. But if you got the costume, you got the gear, but you can't play, it's not gonna fly, And then what happens is, when you vote for these people to get in to go to the next round, sometimes that next round will be from flying from Chicago to go to Las Vegas. And of course, mom and dad or yourself, you got to pay for that. They're not paying for it. So you go to Vegas, and if I just lied to you and you spend your money knowing that maybe this guy's just trying to be nice to me, but he's not really being, straightforward, not leveling with me, then they go and they spend their money and they get their ass kicked badly, and they come back. Now they're really feeling like, damn, you could have told me what was wrong, you know. So when it comes to that, I can't do that to people, you know. But when these companies do this, some of it almost, I've noticed that they seem to cater to a lot of young girls. And I'm going to tell you something, guys. Some of those people, if they're a little bit on the perverted side, I don't want them around me. And I could care less if they could help my career out or they can't help my career out. If they don't invite me to Tolman's or they don't invite me to NAMM. If there's something that's almost on the perverted side that looks like, I don't think I want to get involved with these people. I'm not going to get involved. I'm not going to start, uh, chasing coattails and that. Because you know what? We've been pulling our own weight with this. None of those people helped us. So I'm not going to jump on a bandwagon just to try to get free stuff, especially if it's starting to look. Because, you see, I mean, I could be wrong, but I've noticed this for a little bit of duration of time. And I thought to myself, okay, that's nice that you want to help people out. And since these people seem to just like target a lot of the female gender in guitar playing, why not? How about some of the older ladies that maybe retired, and maybe they retired in their 50s or early 60s, and now they have money and they want to get back into guitar playing? How about helping them out, Because you see, there's the difference between a retired woman and a young girl. The retired woman's going to have something the young girl doesn't. She's going to have money and she's going to have friends with money. If they've been fortunate enough that they saved their money and, whatever. But it's just something very wrong with these pictures I'm seeing in these videos. And I'm not going to mention any names, but there is a company I did try to reach out to only because I was curious about their product and taking their product out in my live gigs. And I even said, I'd give you the check, if it does what I think it could do. Because I don't know anything about this company. I can't find any of their product, not through Sweetwater, not at Guitar Center or the mom and pop shops. It's always online. But before I write the check and send them the money, I want to make sure I got the product, Okay, so they don't know me, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But I would have had more respect if at least they would have contacted me in some form, even on a comment on my channel. Even if it would have been like, I'm sorry, Dave, we really don't know you that much, and you have a small channel, and we can't really take that chance. That's fine, I totally understand. But there was nothing. Meanwhile, there are people that have ordered this product, and they had to wait like 6 months to get the product. But in that 6 months duration of time, some of these YouTube channels, and there's a lot of them are young kids, they're getting the exact same thing that some of these people have ordered. And I'm thinking to myself, this is not right, man. These people need to honor, this company needs to honor their paying customers, And some people would say, well, I didn't get my product because, the coronavirus, everything shut down. That right there is BS. I'm going to tell you this, and this is very factual. Because UPS, FedEx, Amazon, and all these other subcontractors are still delivering. So if you bought something in late December or early January, and let's say you were told that you had to wait a month, well, if you count from January to February is 1 month, or from February to March is 1 month, and now, again, you bought it, you paid for it in early January, and now it's June, and now you just received the amp or the package or whatever it is that you ordered, but they already cashed in on your credit card way back in December or January, and you had to wait. Meanwhile, all these people, look, I got an unboxing. Look, they send me this. Oh, look, they send me that. I'll tell you what, man, I'd be really pissed off. I would be extremely pissed off. I'd report them to the Better Business Bureau. I don't care what their claim to fame is. You don't do that to people. You respect your customers, man. What the hell's wrong with these people? That's why I don't jump on these bandwagons. I'm starting to really see things as I'm seeing it, and I'm not trying to be belligerent. And one guy said, do what you want, man. And if you like that piece of gear and you're happy with it and you build up the relationship, by all means, you support that company. I'm talking about me. They ain't getting a dime out of me, man. I could care less. I really could care less, because when I start seeing stuff like that, that's piss ass poor customer service and customer respect. But yet, well, it's only $200, it's only $300. So what? That's $200 or $300 that could buy groceries. You know what I mean? So I don't have respect for some of these people that do half the things they do. And I didn't mean to go on a tangent about this, but I think it needs to be addressed, because there's a lot of people seem to be getting the shaft that they shouldn't get the shaft. You know what I mean? But that's why I just like to play. I like to play. I go forward. I get careless what these people want to do. I don't hope any bad on anybody. But no, I can't. I don't have a respect for a company that wants to do something like that. Okay, so I'm going to play a piece here, guys, before I, get demonetized. I don't know if I'm monetized or not monetized. At this point in my life, I don't really care. Yeah, I hit a top 40 because it wasn't alternative or non-commercial enough. Yeah, see, look how far back in the chat I am. Holy crap. Oh my God, I am so sorry. And that is why I have no interest in one particular. Yes, Great Vanzini. Yes. And I mean, I'm again, for people who really want to get in on, let's say, maybe they get an endorsement deal, and you do what really your heart tells you to do, okay? But just keep one thing in mind. A lot of these people, they're fighting for the same thing. Everybody wants to be a star. Everybody wants free stuff. Everybody wants to help me, please help me. And, that's just human nature. But with that, you're going to get the kind of respond that, okay, if you play up to a company too much, they're going to see this as leverage. Not every company. You do have some great people out there. But if there is people that want to use this as leverage to say, okay, like a little kid that can only jump so high, and they got the candy hanging over you, they want to see if you could jump any higher, and they go like this. That company might have gear that you want it badly, but keep one thing in mind. You're going to have the one thing that company needs, not wants, but they're going to need it. That's money. And any company that is they're not going to last in business that long if they're going to constantly give stuff away for free. Okay? Now, unless they kept their day jobs and they're really just doing this for fun and they're funding their company with that money, well, okay. But still, I wouldn't do that. If I was the manufacturer, man, I wouldn't do that to people, man. So I kind of hope that doesn't piss people off, but I'm just being real, man. I'm just being real. And again, any manufacturer that anybody out there really likes, you go ahead and support them, man. You don't have to listen to me. This is just my opinion and what I would do personally. But if they've been treating you good, yeah, by all means, you be their friend or you support that company and you help them out, man. By all means, Okay, so let's see. I want to make sure this is not too loud. This is a little track that is off of my Uno CD. I don't mean to get on that babbling and stuff, but sometimes, I'm unscripted and it just happens, guys. Okay, here we go. This is called Hola. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, what I'm gonna do here, because I think this is, I'm having a little issues with this little stand. So, and I'm gonna have to stand up for this one. But yeah, that song right there is off of my Uno CD. It's called Ola. And the guitar synth I was using, which we still have, is the Roland GR33. Now the GR33 synth, it's all kind of stuff we got in here. It's a nice synthesizer, okay? But there is a little bit of an issue. The housing is made of plastic. And as we all know, it could have issues. And I'm not a really big fan of plastic stuff, especially if you take it outside to a gig. You know what I mean? So, the dog paw, what has happened? I think was he here? Oh God, I'm so sorry, guys. I gotta really catch up in my chats. You know, that's just it. Sometimes if you try to do too much, you fail epically. Okay, so I'm gonna play one more piece. Now this right here. Dog Paw, what's happening, my friend? I appreciate you tuning in, man. Let's see. Okay, I gotta do this, guys. I think I gotta do it like this. Maybe not. Okay, this I put together at one of the gigs. Well, actually, maybe it was at one of the gigs. And being a big Al Di Meola fan, and Return to Forever, as well as his own solo stuff. There is a combination of, well, I had like all their albums, and there was a piece called No Mystery, off the album No Mystery. And then what I did is I took a little bit of that melody over a chord progression, and then I looped it, and then I looped the second part of Duel of the Jester and the Tyrant off of the Romantic Warrior. I want to make sure. Okay. Just want to make sure. Could you guys hear that all right? Metalhead Hippie just woke up. What's happening, man? If anyone hasn't been on Metalhead Hippie's channel, check him out. There's a couple of people I've sent to you. I hope they did subscribe to your channel, Metalhead Hippie. I really do. Joan, what's happening? Appreciate it. Joan, I see the type is so small. Oh, I'm so sorry. Pianos, I think I'm reading that right. Okay. So, we'll see what happens here, guys. Okay. So here we go. This is a little combination of No Mystery and a battle of the Duel of the Jester and the Tyrant. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate that. Uh, yeah. Now I want to really quick here. Whenever you feel in your performing and you're gonna make a mistake, and trust me, it happens. We have brain farts. If you're doing multiple styles of music, if something happens, just keep going. Because what happened here when I came out of uh, the more upbeat piece and came into here, I actually was improvising around E minor. But the melody I'm trying to play is this. Yep. But I kind of missed it. So when things like this happen, always remember you always have a way out. If you're playing around that chord, play around the notes around that chord. So you have E minor. My middle finger is playing there. I could come here. I could come here. It's kind of like taking a blues pentatonic and adding a couple extra notes in it. You know what I mean? So there's always a way out. And trust me, no one wants to make mistakes, but it happens. I mean, we're all human. And I've seen professionals do it, so we're all in the same boat if you really think about it. So I hope everything goes well with everyone out there, and I hope this can inspire people in their playing endeavors. I will be putting up some more like technique videos, and if a person wants to really learn technique, I'll be putting those videos up. But if someone really, really wants to, you guys could, I think you guys have access to our email. You could always contact us. We could see if we could do lessons through WhatsApp, or something like that. I'm very leery about this Zoom thing on the internet because I've been hearing some stories that it's not exactly secured. And I know I mentioned this before, but why I got this phone, my other phone, I was getting hacked, and I was getting all this stuff, and it kind of really messed up everything. And I'm like, you know what? That's why I had to delete one of the Streamlab things. And I don't want to say anything bad about the company, but I downloaded something for free, and next, I got all these problems, so I had to get rid of all that because it just, I can't have issues. Especially when you have a professional driving job and you need your MapQuest or your Google Maps or whatever, and you cannot have information on that phone. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So I really do appreciate everyone's support in that. But here's something that you guys could check out, and it is going to be geared to classical guitars. There's a Russian lady named Tatiana. She just had a live stream just before I went live. I guess it's Guitar Lessons with Tatiana. She has some great advice there on technique. Same with a guy named David Russell, which I know about David Russell for years. He's a classical guitarist. And but here's the thing. If a person wants to really learn certain techniques, watch what other people are doing. And don't judge them by the size of their channel or whatever. If there's something that's good information, go ahead and just, if that information helps you out. Because I'll tell you what, there's nothing worse than There's nothing wrong with supporting friends. We all want to do that. But when people start spending money and they're not seeing value for their money and they're just learning from somebody that knows just a little bit more than they do, they're never going to excel. And I'm not trying to put people down, but really, yeah, pay attention to your Gmail. Yeah. YouTube. Let's see, guys. Make sure your password is. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, and regularly check that nobody else ever gets. Yeah, see, we had a situation down here with a couple of people. They got mad at me. I didn't join their band because I was gigging. Yeah, so that's why I don't. And I think they got funny, and it's like, really. That's why I'll see, and I don't care if people put thumbs down. They don't have to like everything I'm doing. I don't have an issue with that. But they'll put the thumbs down and they won't even say why. Sometimes if a person puts a thumbs down and they tell you why, you're actually going to help that person. It's like, oh, maybe I didn't see that at that moment in time, but now I could, I could change. I could do something to fix that. You know what I mean? So I'm going to do one more piece here, my friends. And where am I at here? Oh, it's over here. See? I got my little list here. But you know how that is. Let's see if I grab the little lawsuit guitar. It looks like the Paul Reed Smith. It's a nice guitar. I'm glad we got it because you can't really find them anywhere. That's this guy right here. 1988. If you could see that, it does have the Gibson in here, and it is a neck through, and it does have a pole pot, rail hammer pickups. I thought they were like Bill Lawrence pickups, but it's a company called Rail Hammer. So let's see. Let's make sure that this is in tune, because they do sometimes have little issues. You know what I mean? Like right there. Here we go. Let's see. All right, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. I wish everyone well. And next Saturday, we're going to be doing something live at one of the music stores in Cape Coral, a music store called Educators Music. So we're going to see if we stream that live. And it's going to be a little bit more rocked out. Definitely going to be more rocked out. But I really appreciate you guys' support and everything. And please subscribe to everyone that's on this channel. Really, let's help the community out. And I know sometimes you can't always watch everything. It's only 24 hours in a day. But when you don't see me out there, on the people's channels, trust me, I do think about you guys. We get busy as well. So, and I know that happens with all of you out there. But we want to make sure that everyone just supports each other and just keep this whole guitar community going. Anyways, my friends, you guys totally rock. We love you all. And again, until Saturday, and I'll put a notice up on the channel. But until Saturday, my friends, you stay true, you stay safe, rock on, and God bless you, my friends. Take care, brothers.